As we begin this conversation, I'd like to take the time today to acknowledge that our guests from People of the Sun and we here at the Regina Folk Festival are on Treaty 4 lands, home to the Anishinaabe, Nehiyawak, Dakota, Lakota, Nakota peoples, as well as the homeland of the Métis Michif Nation. DijahSB is based in Toronto, which for thousands of years has been the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, Haudenosaunee, and Wendat peoples, and is now home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by the Treaty 13 with the Mississaugas of the Credit. We urge everyone listening today to support the survivors of residential schools and their families this holiday season and all year round, or to access support by visiting the Indian Residential School Survivor Society website at irSSS.ca, or by connecting with a friendship center in your community. Okay. So thank you for joining us. My name is Amber Goodwin and my pronouns are she, her, and I'm the artistic director here at the Regina Folk Festival. This is not really where I am right now. I'm standing in my kitchen, but I thought it looked kind of fun to have the background. I'm gonna start a little bit with a formal introduction of our guests today. We have Toronto-based rapper DijahSB. DijahSB makes navigating synth loops, booming bass claps, and smoothed out production look easy. The rapper effortlessly glides across the soundscapes with lyrics that are as earnest and personal as they are agile and quick-witted. With tens of thousands of listeners across streaming platforms and features on popular Spotify playlists, including Northern Bars, Fresh Finds, and Fresh Finds Hip Hop, Dijah's music is testament unto itself. Their 2021 album, Head Above the Waters, was shortlisted for the Polaris Music Prize, and just yesterday, Complex Magazine named the album number 5 on their list of the 25 best Canadian albums of 2021. Congratulations and welcome, Dijah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me, guys.
People of the Sun is an 8-person live hip hop and R&B band, a project born amidst the social unrest of COVID-19, Black Lives Matter, and the discovery of residential school grave sites across Canada. The purpose of this Saskatchewan-based collective is to display unity through art. And the vision of the band is to have 8 people of different cultural backgrounds make impactful hip hop and funk music, but to also be an example of inclusion and reconciliation in and for our community, featuring artists of different ages, genders, and faiths. In the first year of the band's existence, they have managed to record 2 EPs, shoot 10 music videos, perform at the Saskatchewan Jazz Festival, and receive national press from Exclaim magazine, be featured on the Hit Earshot hip hop charts, and receive regular rotation on CBC's Strombo show. So congratulations also to People of the Sun, and welcome to Mimi and Lexi. Thank you so much. All right, so that's all the formal stuff for now, and then let's get into it. Thank you so much for joining us. How about we take a moment to get to know each other today? So maybe we could go around and everybody share their pronouns and what they've been listening to lately. It's really easy. I'll go first. My pronouns are she, her, and I've been listening to both of your bands all morning, just getting really into it. And then a little bit of Eddie Murphy's Party All the Time, just because that's referenced on a Dijah track. But who wants to go next?
I can go.
Well, I'm Lexi. My pronouns are she, her. And I've been listening a lot to the Anderson .Paak and Bruno Mars group that they have. I really enjoy that new album. It's pretty cool. And yeah, I've just been trying to listen to a lot of new music lately. So I've been listening to a lot of Spotify playlists. Also a lot of Dijah. I really love your stuff.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, I guess I'm the odd one. Dijah, I've not been listening to you. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Nini. My name's Nini. I'm so sorry. My name's Nini. She, her. And I have been listening to SZA, I Hate You, because, yeah.
And Dijah, pronouns are she, they. I've been listening to a lot of Baby Keem, but only the 2 singles, and SZA as well. And I think that's about it. Yeah, nothing else.
Right on. Another kind of like little group question to kind of feel each other out. I was wondering if folks could share how y'all started making music, like your musical origin stories, as it were, your individual origin stories. Yeah.
Well, I guess I could go first. My family's always been super musical, so music has always been something that we've done together. And then when I was probably like 12, I started taking guitar lessons and kind of writing music that way. And I was in like choir in high school, and I really just enjoyed singing and playing an acoustic guitar. And then I started playing live shows here in Regina, and just got to meet a lot of great people that way. And luckily, I was asked to be a part of People of the Sun this summer. And so that's how I'm here today, which I'm super stoked about. It's such a cool group to be a part of.
Okay. Mine is, well, it's a really weird story, but I have two brothers, and we used to fight a lot when I was little about what to watch when my mom went to work, because she was the pharmacist. So she's working like morning till night, and then we were home with like the help. But the TV was constant fighting. So she made a rule and she said everybody has their own day to watch something. And there used to be this channel, Trace. I don't know if it's still there, but Trace basically plays music every day, all day. So I always chose Trace. So I always knew like all the new songs. Basically, I knew all the songs, and I was like 8 years old. And when I got to high school, there was like this other girl, and she was always making it seem like I couldn't sing. So because of that, I decided to prove her wrong and joined the choir, school choir. And then I never took it like seriously. I just thought like singing for fun. But then my friend Ade invited me to like one of the rehearsals just for fun, like when we were just starting. And somehow, somewhere, I found a space for myself. So yeah.
Nice. I have been maybe making music and creating for maybe past like 12 years. It started with just being on YouTube and uploading my stuff there. And I didn't have any original beats at the time, so I was just doing them over all of my all of my favorite rappers' beats. Then somebody reached out to me, talked about management and stuff. From there, he linked me with somebody. His name is Astroman Mega, and we created a group called Class of 93. And he gave me my first original beats, and we made a couple of albums, a couple of mixtapes. I did a few live shows, and then I stopped for about a year or so in 2014. Then I came back in 2015, rebranded as DijahSB. I started uploading onto Spotify and Apple Music and those places. So that gave me a bigger range of people to kind of engage with. And then, just was throwing my own shows as well as doing shows locally. And then 2020, when the pandemic hit, I decided to release my first album. And from there, it's just been kind of just nuts, just everything just coming together.
You've put out like 2 albums in 2 years and a bunch of EPs and all these sorts of things. Yeah, and it's been super busy times. So maybe I'll start digging into that a little bit. I was wondering, so your most recent album, Head Above Waters, you mentioned some of your early collaborators, but you've got some really interesting collaborators on Head Above Waters and 2020, the album. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about them.
So majority of both, I actually only had beats from a gentleman, his name is Cheap Limousine, and Harrison, produced by Harrison, who is a Canadian producer here. But Cheap Limousine, I actually have never met him before. He's actually in Italy. And I don't know what he looks like. I don't even have his number. We only communicate through like Gmail and Instagram. But one day I was looking for beats and I just couldn't at the time afford to buy beats. So there's this website that you could kind of lease beats from. And I ended up finding Cheap Limousine there, and he literally just redefined my entire sound for me because I listened to it and it just brought me into a different place creatively. So I always kind of mention him as like the person that kind of changed my trajectory of my career. And it's just funny because I've never met the guy before. Yeah, Cheap Limousine is there, and I always go to him whenever I'm feeling like creative, because he always has just fire beats. And then Harrison was a little bit more involved in the second album, and he just, the only way that I work is like people just send me beats and I create, and that's it. I don't really do like live sessions or anything like that. My best songs have been the songs where I wake up in the middle of the night and I just write, and in the morning I have no idea how any of it came about, but it's good, so I just continue on with it. But those are the main two producers that I've been working with recently. And sorry, that was my cat. And in terms of like the features and stuff, Ray Hammond I have on there, Cola H. Dot, and Terrell Morris, all great Toronto artists that really kind of put the bow on all of the songs that they're credited on.
Amazing. I think that you work quite differently than I think people of the Sun who do a lot of writing as a group live. So maybe I'll just pass over to you folks for a minute here. So Lexi and Nini, you two are vocalists alongside two MCs, Origin and Spin and Info Red, and a 4-part live rhythm section. Could you share with us how the band got started? There's a little bit of that in your intro, but maybe if Nini, you've been with the band for long, maybe if you want to jump in there.
You know what? Ade just said, Nini, do you want to come sing? And I said yes. And I showed up. And it was just like, they had already done like one practice without me. So I was kind of confused, but I was like, you know what, just give me the lyrics and we're figuring it out. And basically, they were just playing songs because Eric, Ethan, Rob, and Sip were already like a group, like instrumentalist group. I don't know what it's called, but they were just playing songs. Regina Transit Authority, RTA. I do know what it's called. So they were just playing songs, and basically the point was write whatever and we can figure it out from there. So at first we had some melodies, we had like some choruses, and then Origin and Info were just spitting bars. They never have a problem doing that. They were just doing their own thing. So we did like one rehearsal, 2, 3, 4, and somehow we had like a song. And then the next week we had another song, and the next week we had another song, and then the next week we had another song. So we had 4 songs, and showed up, which was like really surprising for us. And then we're like, we're going to record. So we recorded in the same space, and that's just how we've been doing it. They basically just play. Like, it was fun. It's still fun, but it was more fun just because we could come and sing whatever, but somehow that turned into like something that actually made sense rather than just fun. Yeah, I think that was how we got started, to me. Other people might have something else to say, but that's how it started for me.
It was really cool being a part of a group that had accomplished so much in such a short amount of time. And it was like really overwhelming the first couple of rehearsals that I went to, because like Nini said, you just go and they're like, yeah, sing whatever. It's like, okay, but about what? And they're like, whatever you want. Like, it's up to you. This is what we're doing together. And so it was really overwhelming when I first joined the group, but once you kind of get a swing of what's happening, it's like, it's a really cool and creative way to write with a large group of people. And we just like, we play off of each other so well. And I feel like now we're so comfortable doing it that it's just like, it's easy to be like vulnerable as a singer, being like, okay, well, I'm going to sing about heartbreak today, or like, I don't know. It's really, really a cool way to do it. I've never done anything like that before.
It actually sounds like there is commonality behind, like, you know, having beats produced for you, or accessing beats, or walking into a situation and the music is there, and then you get to focus as a vocalist on improvising over top of that. Yeah, so they're definitely more than I sort of realized. So we're talking about our communities and the group of people that we connect with, either on the internet. I like to call myself a greasy Dropbox dweller. That's why I share a lot of files myself, but also in person and that sort of thing. I was wondering if we could kind of, as a group, just chat a bit about what your experience is, what it's like in your local music community. You two are, like, the two groups are from such different places in this place we call Canada. Like, so what I'm asking is, like, how would you describe your experience of the Regina music scene or the Toronto music scene?
I started performing live in the Regina music scene like probably about 7 years ago. And like I said, it was just kind of with my acoustic guitar and singing at local bars and whatnot. But I find that the Regina music scene is very welcoming and very open to new people who share the same dream that they have of just playing music and just loving what you're doing. And so just performing show after show, I met a lot of great people. And like Ethan from the band, I met him years ago because I worked at a place called Bushwhacker, which did live music nights, and he would go there to sing with to play guitar with his dad, Shane. And so I've known him for a while, and I think that's kind of how I got involved in People of the Sun initially, but I've kind of met everyone else throughout the years. But yeah, it's just really open, really welcoming, really cool scene because there's so many different aspects to it. Like, I used to go to a lot of punk shows. There wasn't quite a hip hop scene. It's definitely coming up a lot more. Or like, I don't know if maybe I just wasn't a part of it, but I find that it doesn't matter what genre you're a part of, like, everybody welcomes you, which is really cool. Makes it easy to continue.
Okay, for me,
go ahead.
Okay. For me, well, if I wasn't in People of the Sun, I probably wouldn't be doing music. Basically, when I got here, I could just sing because I'm in my church choir. So I used to help my friends. Like, I had other friends that were really into like the music scene, like, and they were Nigerian as well, because 70% of my friends are Nigerian because I'm Nigerian. There's a lot of them here. So there was like a voice, and he'd be like, oh, like, can you come help me do this in the studio? There'd be like Tova, who's my also really good friend, come help me do this. Adi would say, come help me do this, like, blah, blah. I wasn't taking it seriously. But now that I'm like, I wouldn't say like, if that makes sense, because People of the Sun, it's very like, sometimes I'm scared because I'm like, well, I don't know what to expect. I don't know how to behave. I don't know if people are going to show up. Like, there's all these thoughts, but everybody just makes you feel like you're a part of it. Like, oh my God, I love what you did. Like, just hearing that is so encouraging because, like, sometimes I'm not sure and I'm like, well, I don't know how people are going to feel about this, but it's like, you're so good. Oh my God, we love that. You'd see people dancing, like, you'd see lots of like artists, producers. Just the other week we did like the Apollo Sun show, right, Lexi?
And Dino Sons.
And Dino Sons. Oh my God. And Dino Sons. We did Dino Sons and everybody was just backstage talking. It was was really, really good energy, and I'm really happy to be part of it.
You're like, People of the Sun is a bit of, I think of it as a super group. There's so many people in your band who've been in the scene for a long time, like InfoRed, among pretty much everyone else. So it's kind of neat to have this like community built in.
Yeah.
Too. Dijah, I think you were gonna.
The other day I actually had a conversation with somebody that's trying to gear towards like the betterment of the Toronto music scene, and they asked me like what were things that kind of needed to change, and I think the most important thing to any artist is kind of being able to make a living off of the music that they're making, or just being able to kind of afford to create, because it is pretty expensive. So I think as much as we have a lot of talented artists in the city, the one thing we don't have is kind of like, I would say, like labels, or like people that are willing to put the risk into giving an artist money and not knowing if they're going to get it back, but also knowing that it's a long-term kind of investment. A lot of major cities that are music cities, they run on entertainment, and they understand the value of an artist and how much they can bring to an economy. But here in Toronto, I feel like we're kind of always 10 steps behind. And if only we could find that, if only we could find or bring in kind of those people that know exactly what it means to be able to, those people that know how the industry kind of works and what works and what doesn't. But other than that, Toronto has an amazing creative scene. A lot of, like, it's very supportive in terms of the people, but the business aspect of it really does need a lot of working out. And it's kind of like, it's kind of hard to explain it, because you see people like Drake and The Weeknd and Justin Bieber, they are all kind of mega stars, and you'd think that Toronto would be an entertainment city, given that, or Canada would be an entertainment country, given that they've exported 3 of the most popular artists when that was never like a thing. There was never a Toronto rapper. Well, there was, but like in terms of like internationally, there never was. So the fact that kind of Drake made it in that aspect gives people the false reality that Toronto rappers can all kind of do that. And it's just like, nah. It takes a lot of money, and it takes a lot of risks. And the Toronto rappers that do make it, I don't blame them for being a little bit jaded, because nobody kind of helped them when they were here. So why would I come back and create any kind of infrastructure to help any other artists? But I feel like, yeah, we're just lacking the funds. There are grants and stuff like that, but it's just like the grant system is very difficult to navigate. It's so difficult that there's actually a job called the grant writers, and you have to pay somebody to write the grant. Like, it shouldn't be that way. It should be artist friendly, and artists should be able to kind of write the grant up themselves and get money as easily as anybody else can to run their business, because, you know, it is a business kind of thing with music, as much as it's a creative thing. But yeah, I just said a mouthful. But and the great big aspect of things is Toronto has, especially the rap scene, we have a lot of great rappers, and we have a lot of great producers. So.
That was a lot of really really excellent and open reflection on this, on how things work. And it's like, it's increasingly difficult with the streaming era for people to make money. And even in the granting systems, I would add on to that to say that even the evaluation criteria of grants, or who is determining what is of quality, is I understand some agencies are reviewing that, but a lot of really excellent points there. And I do want to mention that my pal pointed out to me that you beat out Bieber on that 25 Canadian albums.
Yeah, so my friend said that too, and I'm just like, oh man.
But yeah, no, definitely. That's thanks for that honest reflection. And maybe this is a good time to ask. I mean, you know, you're talking about resources, really, especially as an independent artist, and you've been hustling for like 10 plus years, making your art. So in the last couple of years in particular, your career's accelerated. You put out those 2 records, many singles and EPs. You have new distribution, the Polaris Prize, all that sort of thing. What kind of impacts have these successes had on you?
I would say in terms of like the Canadian music industry, like it has turned a lot of heads. Um, and it's allowed me to kind of be a full-time artist and not have to worry about when or how I'm going to create my next album. Um, it's it's bittersweet because you want to celebrate these things, but you always think that there's more that you could be doing or more that or better that you can be. So I'm really like grateful and thankful that I have all of these eyes on me, and it's allowed me to kind of it definitely has reassured me that I'm on the right path. But I'm always just striving for bigger and better. So for me, I think like I'm always just thinking about the next steps, and I guess it's a gift and a curse because I'm always like the hamster wheel is always running, but then sometimes you need to stop and like be grateful about the journey more than the successes. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm trying to kind of December is a great time for artists to kind of settle down and rest because nobody's really looking for releases or music. So I'm just trying to take December to just chill out and go back full gear in January.
Well, yeah, thanks for taking the time to meet with us today during the December like quiet time.
Oh, no, this is nothing. Like when I mean not quiet time, it's constant Zoom meetings with labels or producers and stuff like that. So, and emails every 30 seconds that you need to fill out, and it gets and then right now I don't have anything ready for release, which is strange. Those are definitely the times where it's very stressful and you have to get all these things together. So not having anything, like I have music that I'm going to release eventually, but I'm not actively, like I don't have anything actively in the cut right now. So that's what I meant by rest.
For sure. I think it's a paradox sometimes for musicians that, especially if you're somebody who, and I'm not sure if everyone is, but when you are releasing an album, it's usually after a lot of work has been done behind the scenes, and your head is sometimes anyway in the next project or the next thing, but you kind of have to revisit the original energy and live there publicly for a while. But really, anyway, it's kind of an interesting paradox. So just talking about like rest and time, and we've all had this like bonkers rest, what with the pandemic, and People of the Sun was born out of the pandemic, and Black Lives Matter, and a bunch of other really important considerations. I was wondering, Nini and Lexi, if you could share like what it's meant to be a part of this new band in the pandemic, to start a new band in the pandemic.
It's been really, really cool. I had just started playing with bands right before the pandemic hit. So it's been really interesting kind of transitioning from being just an acoustic singer to really finding my potential. And it's really cool that I'm able to do that in a safe space with People of the Sun, because everyone there is so supportive. And we're all just really excited and stoked on music. So it's really cool bringing in all of our different backgrounds and kind of coming together in this room that we all jam in every week. It's a nice way to get away from all the other stresses of life. And like, it almost makes it seem like there isn't a pandemic because we're creating music. We're taking the time for ourselves to really focus in on that. And playing shows has been really great with People of the Sun. It's just such an energetic crew. And I don't know, it's a really weird time, but it's a really cool time because I'm able to take the stresses from COVID and like kind of let them go when I'm with the band.
Yeah, the pandemic. Yeah, if it wasn't for the pandemic, I don't think I would be here because I have school full time and I have work, and yeah, that time I didn't, but when school started, sometimes it just gets really stressful. And I know that like I go to band practice and then I de-stress and go home and just sleep. It's much easier. Like sometimes it's weird and sometimes it's stressful, but most of the time it's very, very therapeutic. And I probably wouldn't have I probably wouldn't have it any other way. It's just easy. School and band, de-stress, go home, eat and sleep, literally every Tuesday.
Tuesday, awesome, good to know. Yeah, no, it sounds like it came around at the right time. Couldn't have happened otherwise. Yeah. I'm going to shift gears a little bit in the questions here. We've got a question from the audience that is actually on my list here, which is to talk about our musical influences. And there's one specifically here for you, Dijah, who were your favorite rappers growing up before you started rapping?
When I was in middle school, I actually listened to a lot of West Coast rappers, so Eazy-E, The Game, Snoop, all those guys. Then in high school, I started listening to East Coast, so Nas, Common, all those guys. And then I think in like the middle of high school, I grew my obsession with Kid Cudi, and that's all I used to listen to, like just old school music and Kid Cudi. And then recently I've been listening to like all of the new artists, Corday, Mick Jenkins, Buddy, all those guys. Kitchenada is a big influence of mine as well. And I don't listen to a lot of R&B, but I do love Ari Lennox and SZA. And then I'll have like I'll sprinkle in some strange, well, not strange, some Paramore in there. Huge fan of Hayley Williams and Paramore, and Whitney Houston, Toni Braxton. Those are, it's a long list, but yeah, my main influences were the rappers that I mentioned though.
I don't know, Nini and Lexi, whether you feel like you can speak to the influences that, because there's 8 folks, like if you could speak to some of the influences that influence the band or like come up in the band, or for yourselves.
Well, one of my biggest influences as a singer, like I'm a huge fan of like Amy Winehouse, like Stevie Nicks, but Lauryn Hill was really a big influence of me singing wise. And it's really cool to be a part of some sort of collective in that way, where I found that the Roots really brought a bunch of different backgrounds together. And I'm not comparing us to the Roots whatsoever, but it's really cool to kind of experience that same thing. So I don't know, it's really nice to have a bunch of different backgrounds coming together in that sort of way. And fun little fact, me and Lauryn Hill were born on the same day.
Nice.
It's important to note.
Yeah.
Okay, for me, I would say, it's tough because I listen to a lot of random people. I would say from home, even though she's quite international now, her name is Tiwa Savage. Tiwa Savage, yes. She just has an amazing, I don't know, she's amazing. And then I'd say like Ariana Grande, Kehlani, Sam Smith, there's somebody, I can't remember his name. I do listen to like a lot of random people. So for example, let's say like right before I listen to like something, and I usually like to have the music blasting in my ears. And then I just pick up like 1 or 2 things that person did. I'm like, okay, I really want to do this. I really want to do this. And then somehow, somewhere it works out. I don't know. People of Sun is really random because it's like, do whatever you want. And everyone's just gonna be like, oh, I like that. Oh, I like that. Like, can you do this? Can you do that? Like, it's more like do what you want and then suggestive. But like, if you still don't want to do it, it's fine. It's a do what you want band and it works out for us.
Sweet. Yeah, I hear a lot of different influences coming in on that band, and like some in different genres, and like everyone's different kind of background coming in. So I'm sure like it, it's changing all the time, and it's like it's really interesting to hear you describe how it comes together. Okay, maybe because we're talking about some of your influences. Before I dip into some other questions here, like what would be your dream? Like outside of what would be your dream venue to play in and line up? And so like aside from the Artesian on January 26th, Winterruption with your two bands, but like if you could play with any other band, what venue, what would you love to do that way? Dijah, I also know that you've performed with some of your idols too, I understand, like Jay Electronica, briefly there and stuff. But if you could build a lineup.
I would say probably definitely Kid Cudi. Just maybe going on a tour with him would probably be the biggest, my biggest dream come true. Yeah, that would be just the ultimate. Definitely a tour, worldwide tour with Kid Cudi.
Sweet, you get your agent working on that.
Yeah.
Any thoughts from the People of the Sun crew?
Okay, go.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, to go back to like my musical influences, it would be really cool to go on tour with like the Roots and Lauryn Hill, or like Erykah Badu, just like somebody who's been in it for so long that I could just like watch and learn, and I don't know.
Yeah. I probably, well, my influences have their own thing going on, so like I probably would want to do it with them. I have like a lot of really, really talented friends here in Regina, and yeah, in Regina, like Rookie, Melodina, Tova, Ade, Oboise. There's like a lot of really, really, really talented people here that if we could just have one big show, it would just be amazing for me. Alex, oh my God, there's so many people that are so good at doing whatever they do, drums. It's crazy. There's people that dance just for fun, and you'd be like, oh my God, can I do that? Like I could never ever do that. Like you just watch them and I just wish like we had like a way to show people what is really in Regina, because there is a lot of like talent here, and it's just sad that like we only get to see for ourselves.
Yeah, like so many of those artists that you mentioned are really incredible. Tova played at our Summer Satellites event last summer, as did Melodina, and I completely agree with you. Really amazing talent here. Okay, so I'm going to dig into a couple of different questions, bring it back a different way. Dijah, I have a question for you. You were kind of mentioning that's like you kind of like maybe come up with words in your dreams and this sort of thing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but your tracks have this amazing balance between light and dark, and you rap about mental health and financial struggles, but you blend it with like this amazing sense of humor. And it's all somehow very super danceable at the same time. So what inspires your songwriting?
Definitely the kind of notion that you gotta laugh to keep from crying kind of thing. But also knowing that it's important to express yourself and not keep those emotions in. But yeah, it's always funny that I'm saying the most depressing things over like these nice dancey beats. It's a strange balance. And really, whenever I'm making a song, there's a great compliment that I always get, that I'm a very good chooser of beats. When it comes to production, it's like my brain automatically knows this is going to be a good song, and this is going to be a song that I can write easily because it's so good. So everything kind of just comes to me. Like if you were to ask me like where and when I was where I was when I written most of my songs, I can't remember. Like it's just comes so effortless to me that the influence just comes from within, I guess. And sounds corny, but like the more that I continue to write and get into that zone, the more I realize that really this is just kind of like a destiny thing. And no matter what, I would have ended up being a musician. Even if I tried hard not to, I would probably still end up being a musician, but definitely influenced by like what I hear and what I know is good music, and understanding that it's less about I always like to make sure that the content is there, because you can really just make an easy song by picking a beat that's really, really nice and saying whatever on it, and people will still vibe to it. But I always like to kind of make sure that the content is there as well.
I had the pleasure of seeing you perform at Pop Montreal in September, and yeah, you're kind of rapping about really, really intense subjects sometimes, but everyone's just there to party. Like,
Right.
like,
Yeah.
but like, not just when I say that, they weren't like, it's not like they were ignoring the words or anything like this, but just like they were like, I feel that way too, you know,
Yeah.
when they're dancing. So that was really powerful. So like speaking to that kind of authenticity, you know, kind of like highlighting your humanity in both bands instead of just highlight reels. How does like the visual side of things and like the social media side of things, how does that factor into your musical identity?
I would say I'm very bad at the visuals kind of thing, especially when it comes to like music videos. I really don't like making music videos. I do have a lot of talented friends that are graphic designers that I commission to, and I try my best to explain what it is that I want, but I'm very good at the music part, but when it comes to the visual part, I'm just not very creative in that sense. But I do have people around me that help with that. When it comes to social media, I feel like everybody has that one platform that they can really work. So with mine, it's Twitter, and I'm just on there a lot, engaging a lot, saying some of the dumbest things you can kind of come up with. But I had gained a lot of my listener from Twitter, and I feel like it's one of the easier platforms to engage with. So whenever I would like post a video, just because it's like one click away, it's easier to gain fans that way, because people don't like clicking links anymore or being disturbed from their scrolling. So if they can just easily access something and they end up liking it, then there you've got a fan for life kind of thing. But I definitely utilized social media during the pandemic, and I was on there a lot and put a lot of content on there, and people appreciated it because we were all just at home, scared and bored. So that's kind of how the pandemic worked out for me, to be honest.
Nini and Lexi, I don't know if you want to speak to the visual and social world and how that, what is the People of the Sun visual and social world? How does that factor into things?
Well, whenever we record, we do a really, really cool way of doing it where we record live off the floor. So everything that you hear while you're streaming is something that we've already created a video for, which is really cool. I can only speak on it the one time because we've recorded something once with me in the band, but it was a really cool way to stay connected with everybody. And when we recorded this, the next few songs that we have, we kind of had an aspect where we wanted to do something where it felt more like a party. So it's just like in a room where we're all in a circle, and it's a really, really neat way to kind of kill two birds with one stone, but also stay very connected. And you just kind of get a really good sense of what People of the Sun is through our videos.
Yeah, sometimes it's really annoying because if one person messes up, then we have to do the whole thing again. But it's really fun the first time we did, I think, how many songs did we do? 6? I can't remember. 5 or 6 songs in one night. It was really fun, but it was really tiring. Yeah, that's just how we do it. And I don't know, I think it works for us just because it's us. And I don't know, I kind of prefer it that way because I don't have that much time to be doing like separate music videos. Yeah, and social media, I think everybody manages at least like one, but don't quote me on that. I'm not sure. Eric does Instagram. He does a really good job at it, even though he says he doesn't. And
He does a really good job.
right? I think Brad does Twitter. I don't know who does Facebook. I'm supposed
I
to be
think
doing
Sip
audio
does
man.
Reddit
I hope
too,
they're not
actually.
watching. Huh?
Oh, I said I think Sip does Reddit, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I'm supposed to do audio Mac. I do not do a good job of doing it, but everybody kind of does something. And I don't know, we have how many followers? I don't know how many followers we have, but I know that those are like authentic people that would come to our shows like, oh my God, I know you from People of the Sun. I get that quite a bit, actually. I know you from People of the Sun. Oh my God, I saw your show. It's just, I don't know. It's just great, really. I don't have anything bad to say about it, honestly. Everybody kind of does something, so I don't know how that goes like individually. We do get a lot of bots saying like DM us on Instagram. We don't DM them, but yeah.
Has anybody ever, I get a lot of DM me kind of things. I'm like, does anybody ever follow up on that? Does that work?
No, because no, they're bots. I don't know. They just say DM me. Why are we DMing you?
Okay, they're bots. That explains everything. I'm learning so much today. Okay, all right, I wanted to, we're coming up to the end of the hour here. So we're not going to go over the hour, but I wanted to ask you three, what are your favorite songs of yours to play live? You have to pick one. Like if you had children, you had to pick one right now. Who's your favorite?
I don't even know, honestly, because everything is really new to me and really fun. I have some songs I don't love playing live. I really like Stay. That one's really fun. I like the ones that me and Nini really get to showcase our harmonies because it's really fun singing with Nini.
Oh yeah.
She's so fucking great at, or sorry, she's so great at it. But I don't know. I really like it when Nini and I get to do our really cool harmonies because it's fun being able to harmonize with somebody. And just the really fun ones. So like Party Till the Sun is really fun.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Lexi kind of play off of each other a lot. Like on the shows, we always look at each other because sometimes we sing like she'll sing what I'm supposed to sing and I'll sing what she's supposed to sing. I would just look at each other and laugh about it. Like it doesn't really matter. We play off of each other a lot. My favorite song it's not out yet, so you know I can't really sing it, I think. Whatever. But okay, out of the ones, I would say Stay. I really like Free Floating too. There's many I don't like to sing, but yeah.
Dijah, what are your favorite tracks to perform?
I think for me, definitely would be my song on my album Broke Boy Anthem, just because the hook is really engaging with the crowd, and I always get the best reaction from it as well. So that's definitely my top one to perform. And anything, honestly, all my stuff are so upbeat, so it's all just kind of fun to play all of them. To be honest, I always have fun kind of rearranging my set list. It's just funny because a lot of artists have songs that aren't really live performing songs, but like legit a majority of my songs are able to be played live. So it's good for me to be able to kind of randomize it and always have a new set all the time, you know. But definitely Broke Boy Anthem is my favorite to play live.
It's a super fun one. Everyone's got their hands up.
Yeah, exactly.
A little comment here from the audience. It's not a question for Dij, but just that I love you and can't wait for you to come to Regina.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I've never been to Regina, so it's gonna be fun.
Yeah. All right, well, we're almost done here. We're at the Regina Folk Festival, we're all about live music, so I've got a couple quick things here. Really quickly, what's the most memorable concert you've ever been to? Doesn't have to be yours, it can be yours, whatever, like that.
Definitely Kid Cudi. The last time he was here in Toronto, I don't remember. I'm very, very bad at dates, but the last time Cudi was here in Toronto, it was probably I wasn't very close, but I was with friends, so it made it a lot more special.
My friends were just saying that recently too. It's about the experience of the concert or being with people, especially in this pandemic sometimes, eh?
Yep.
Nini, do you have a concert what's your most memorable concert?
I think it's probably the first one we ever did, because I did not expect people to turn up. I did not expect that people would be interested, but people were. So that was the starting point of everything.
Awesome. Lexi?
The most recent one that I went to is the City in Color show a couple weeks ago here. That one was beautiful. So that one's really sticking out in my mind. But I think the concert that blew me away was when Begonia came here a couple years ago. I remember just being in the audience watching her show and just sobbing. It was so beautiful.
Yeah, she's amazing. Knows how to command an audience. All right, well, thank you so much, everyone, for your time. I think that's pretty much it for us. I'm going to say some closing remarks, but firstly, I just want to say thank you so much for taking this time, because time is everything. Time is a flat circle in the pandemic, but it's also longer on Zoom. So thank you for your time today. So thanks to DijahSB, Lexi, and Nini from People of the Sun for joining us today. With a reminder that the tickets for their Winterruption show and all the Winterruption shows are on sale now over at reginafolkfestival.com. They'll be playing on Wednesday, January 26th, and it's an earliest show because it's a Wednesday, so if people have to wake up early, that's a thing. The kitty may or may not be there. Probably not.
Look at him, he's so mean. He's being so mean.
It's his time now. We're encroaching on it. And we'd like to thank our funders, including Canadian Heritage, SK Arts, City of Regina, SAS Culture, SAS Lotteries, Tourism Saskatchewan, and Arts Fest Business for the Arts. Head over to the FolkFest website to check out our vaccine procedure and to find out more about these excellent artists and the full Winterruption lineup. All right, thanks everybody. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Take care.